Good morning, Mike Schein. This is Walter Morello with the 100 Millionaires Podcast. Mike, why don't you start us off with your famous quote? What is it you like to say?
Massive income from passive income. Great to see you, Walter.
Good to see you, my friend. I was just asking before this call, what do you want to talk about?
Yeah.
And, what do you want to plan for this conversation? And
Wing it.
We're going to wing it.
We're going to wing it.
Don't let this surprise you. This is what we do every week. So, Mike, where is Tesla at?
We immediately go to Tesla. Tesla is at $2,102 per share.
2,101. So that is
102. Yeah, 2,102, and it's going to split on Friday. So starting next Monday, the 31st, it'll be 5-for-1 split. So that's
over $400.
Over $400. Holy crap! $420. $420.
So here's $420. So here's my biggest regret. So Tesla, I bought it at 28 and sold it at sold it when it hit 86, and I thought I beat the system, right? I'm a day trader. I figured it out.
Yeah.
And now it got all the way up to $2,100. So I only have 10 shares of Tesla at $2,100. So yeah, still $21,000 only. Right.
There's a lot of Robinhood investors are very jealous that you have 10 shares of Tesla. That's going to become 50 shares of Tesla. Yeah. So
this is true.
All right. Well, I know the direction I'm taking with this conversation now.
Go ahead.
It's that there's Walter's plan and there's God's plan, and God's plan always wins. But God has our back. The universe has our back, and everything for a reason. I totally believe in that. So,
All right, Mike.
You are so protected and so blessed. You have nothing to worry about. Which is awesome.
I agree. I've been listening to the Surrender Experiment.
That's so perfect.
So I'm also there with you that,
yeah.
At this point, I liquidated some of my stocks so I could pay off some credit cards so I can get my credit score back up to like 780. And that, for me, it felt like a step backwards.
Yeah.
Right. And
but doesn't it feel good to pay those things off? I mean, we don't hold a balance, but every month we pay the credit card.
Yeah.
Even though you're spending money, it feels good like that with zero.
To see it as zero feels good. Actually, it will feel good. So that's today. That'll be paid. Because, the money was in this account and then it took 3 days to, clear. Now it's going to go. So anyway, got to do it today or tomorrow. And it's going to feel good. The other piece is that because of doing this, we're going to see $850,000 in our bank account again, which I can then go and replace, 10x the money that I took out to put in there. So it's good. It's good, Mike. It's
awesome.
Good.
That is awesome. I was thinking you should teach you've gotten so far from it, but you should really teach a class on how to use 40 credit cards responsibly.
26.
All right. Well, but you know what I'm saying. I know that you go to the seminars and they say, sign up for this credit card so that you can pay $29,000 for our coaching thing. But
right.
There are ways of getting 18-month interest-free creded cards that you can use. And I don't know how you managed to get 26 of them, because you would say, wouldn't the first 25 say no?
Let me tell you about this. So, maybe we should do a class on how to pay off all those credit cards once the gurus convince you to open them all.
Yeah, but maybe just maybe a class on just showing how you bought a property using credit cards with no interest, but that you then refinanced and you. I'm assuming you did it successfully. Right?
It did work out, yeah. All of my deals have worked out.
That's
so
awesome.
far. I haven't lost money. What I've done is not made as much as I wanted to. So that's my worst case scenario. Is we're not.
That's much better language than the way you were regretting about Tesla. You just manifested that all my deals work out.
Yeah,
They all work.
That is true.
That's so awesome.
Where'd you go, Mike? It looks like we froze up for a second.
I'm here. Hello.
All right.
Is that me? Am I here?
Yeah, definitely some sort of frozen.
Hello, please.
Let me text you.
Huh. That's weird. I look fine.
This way.
That's weird. Should I leave it?
Oh, that's all kinds of crazy. All right. Mike! I have no idea what's going on. Okay. I don't know if you can hear me, Mike, but hang in there. I'm going to try something different. See if I can get this monitor back up. Okay, Mike, do you see me now? Zoom is not responding. Quit Zoom.
You're muted. You're muted.
I'm back now. I'm back. So for some reason, Facebook Live is still running, and the recording is still running. So I have no idea what this is going to look like.
Yeah, I wonder what I was doing.
And I was probably doing this a lot. Like, all right.
So anyway, we're talking about how you're paying off credit cards, and we said that that'll be awesome because wow, this is funny. All your deals are coming through on emails. I'm scheduling one closing, and then Joe Ackaway 1031 on another one's coming through.
So here's a crazy week. The 1031, I think that condo might have just fallen apart pseudo timeline wise.
Oh, gotcha.
I guess the lender was set up where they didn't have the ability to buy the condo because of the amount of ownership in the condo, right? So not enough owner occupied, it was too much investor owned.
Gotcha.
But they find out 2 days before the closing. So I've got another lender who's going to step in place. So that closing probably won't happen this week.
Nice.
But it'll close. But now we have the other the 8 units that we were using as a 1031 to close with the profits from the condo. So we got to go ask for an extension on that, which seller's not going to like that too much. So
September is going to be a great month.
It's going to be a killer month next month.
Yeah, it's all good.
But it looks like our single family flip might close this or next week. So that is
the one I was talking about. That is closing. We just scheduled it. So
nice. Excellent.
Awesome.
When is that scheduled for?
We're gonna do a little. This is the way. Let's see.
The attorney always knows before the buyer. So
Thursday at 11 and 11:30. So seller side, buyer side in the Pawtucket office. So
excellent. I will be there.
Everybody knows the schedule. You'll be there to do one of these.
Yep. Let's do the selfie. We'll get that in. So Mike, the credit cards, good solution for working on renovations, right? I used a lot of it for renovations. I think buying a house, you really should have some money though. Like you should.
Nice job. I've never done that. I thought you had, but I
have. I'm just strongly suggesting that people don't do what I did.
Yeah. There was, I guess there's a lot more private money around now than there was back then.
There is, and that was a mindset too. I was afraid to ask people for money. Like that was my own mindset. It was just easier to go to a credit card than go and ask somebody. I'd rather pay 20% interest than 8% interest to a friend, right? Like that was a mindset that I had. Much better now. And
so it seems like that's the theme of today is mindset, because you say this all the time in the coaching. You can teach everybody the steps, but it's really all about mindset. I mean, our portfolio changed from 0 investment properties to 5 as soon as I read Rich Dad Poor Dad. That was it.
What a difference. What a difference.
As soon as I saw that, and I've been, working hard and had a job for all these years, but then you suddenly see it and you say, oh, okay, this is the way you're supposed to have the mindset. Yeah. What is it? Increase income, not work harder. What's the
point is not to work, it's to generate income.
Generate income.
I'm gonna get you a shirt, Mike. I'm gonna get you one of those rubber bands and a shirt.
Yes. And a plaque.
And a plaque. Oh yeah, the plaque came out. So that's a thing.
Plaque.
So I don't know. I think technically
I have no real desire to have a plaque. I do look at my wall. You
already got your plaques.
I have a bunch of crap. I never really think about it. They sit in like a box, and then Brenda says, you should put them on the wall. I'm like, okay, I'll put them on the wall.
So I think what you were pushing for the plaque the other night, because it wasn't for you. No. It was for our 100 millionaires.
Exactly.
You know how it's going to make them feel. And since Ryan McDermott was our first 100 of the 100 millionaires, and he's in our coaching program, I think his eyes lit up when he was like, I'm getting a plaque.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Being recognized on the website is nice. But to Ryan, I feel like the plaque meant a little more.
Let's take a level. We could even We could even number them
I think so.
like, you know how famous artists, or maybe not even such famous, but if they do like a limited edition, they do like 50, they'll
Yep.
put like 1 of 50. We could put like Ryan in the corner, will be number 1 of 100 millionaires.
I like it.
Yeah.
And one day, in our big real estate investment trust company, we'll have a monument right out front with the 100 millionaires.
That's awesome. I love it.
The cornerstone of the company will be built.
You read the whole Sam Zell book, right?
Yeah, I just finished it.
Did you see him talking about their offices in Chicago, like open door, and anybody can go in anywhere? I just love that.
I love that.
I just don't like it when people get too big for their britches, as they say.
And then the ducks that came in and then had duck
Right,
wings.
all those gifts every year. That was awesome. Yeah.
I love how he set his company up, and like you said, too big for their britches. With the mentorship the other day, it was Doug who made that little statement of, hey, what if we had everybody put all their accountability in the Facebook group? So
yeah, that was great.
Like I can still see all of it and still have access to everything that we're holding accountable to.
Yeah. It's also, I had to put some of my own up there. It was a little, it's accountability.
It's fun, Like I put some of my own, and it's like, man, it's out there. I'm like, I got to do this.
Yeah. Walter did it. I got to do it.
Yes.
I was like, I better put it, but it's good because I put a book in there that Brenda's reading, and The Magic of Faith by Joseph Murphy, and so the book you're reading right now by Michael Singer, The Surrender Experiment, is amazing. And then, but that's basically his autobiography.
Right.
But then you move on, and you get a lot out of it. It's not just his story, but you get a ton out of it. But then The Untethered Soul is basically the workbook that goes with it, because it tells you how to do it. And so that's just a great place to be,
What was great about it, as I'm listening to it, like he and I did things in very different ways to get to, get rid of the voice and, find your true self and that balance. And I can remember, and this is going to be weird for anybody who's never read the book, but I can remember having a conversation with my dad and telling him, like I've changed my language now. So in the past, I used to just say I. And now I realize I got like a business partner in my head. Like I got a friend in there and it's we. Which sounds insane. Sounds absolutely insane. But, we're working together on this. And
awesome.
He knows everything from the past and what to be afraid of. And I'm taking in all the new information and open to new experience. And so I've got this guy in there that I'm like for a while, I was like, dude, like you are out of your goddamn mind. And
right.
But it came right after my divorce. I just remember being like, you know what, like we got this. Like you and I, whatever you are, like we've got this together. We'll move forward. It's gonna be fine. Like stop freaking out. Like
that's awesome. That makes me think of The Power of Now, which is another amazing book. Same idea. I guess Eckhart Tolle, the writer, was depressed, suicidal actually, and he said one night in the fits of depression, he said, I can't live with myself. And then he said to himself, wait a second, what does that mean? I can't live with myself. Does that mean there's two of us in here? Because why would you, like who's talking? Just like you said, you've got your business partner in there. And Michael Singer talks about that if you had that person in your head as a real person sitting next to you on the couch, even if it was your best friend, you'd have to move very far away because they say so much crap.
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool. I had, for me, it was, I did this program when I was in college. It was called The Forum. And like in the 70s, it was this thing called EST. And then they got in trouble because they would have these programs and they wouldn't let people go to the bathroom. And I totally get it now. But what was happening is when something comes up in your face that you don't want to deal with, you shut down or you say, I got to go to the bathroom or whatever you do,
Check
And
your email, check your Facebook.
right, do something.
Yeah.
They didn't have phones back then in the 70s. These were all like crunchy granola hippies. And so the program got a bunch of bad press and they had to shut it down. And so they redid it as the forum. But the whole point of it was that there's a conversation going on in your head. I was 20 when the forum came out. Anyways, and it's kind of like the universe. If you don't get the message the first time, it'll keep sending you the message until you get it. And it was always the conversation. And I say to Brenda a lot now, I keep referring back to the forum, which happened like 30 something years ago. I said, oh, we did this. And they talked about the conversation and now because of Untethered Soul and the Surrender Experiment, I get it now. It just took me a little while, but my conversation now is about how blessed I am and how great things are. And even when I get up in the middle of the night, because, use the bathroom middle of the night, instead of thinking something negative, which would be my normal and most people's normal way of thinking,
Right.
I think about how blessed I am, and I think about who I'm grateful for, and thank the universe, thank God, all that kind of stuff. That's what my mindset is now. That's a crazy shift.
It's a big shift, and it's a powerful shift that's improved your life, made it better.
Oh my God, it's 180 degrees. It's from. I remember somebody taught me this thing. It said that you can go out into the yard and you can either pick up crab apples or regular apples, and it's really what you choose to do. And I choose now to pick up nice apples, yummy apples.
Pick up the good apples.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the world is a garden, right? The world is a garden. The world is Ron says it all the time, the world is a kitchen, right? We're always talking about how, there's so much pie, and we want to make sure we get our piece of pie, and, we want just a little sliver of the pie. We're willing to make the pie too, right? We'll make the pie and then just keep a sliver for ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's, how partnership works. The world is a kitchen. You don't have to compete over the already pre-existing pies, but you should learn how to cook. Right? You should learn how to bake. And that's
cool. I like that. I've never heard it like a kitchen before. Tell Ron I like it.
It's true.
I'm sitting here doing this video with you. I'm shaking my head like as if, I knew the kitchen analogy. I've used it forever. And then I was like, wait a second, I don't know this at all. Why am I shaking my head?
This is a new one.
Yeah, right. Wait, I gotta get a pen. The kitchen analogy.
The world is a kitchen. But think about it this way, right? Like we talk about modeling another business, modeling someone who's doing really well. That's just learning the recipe. Right? Sam Zell.
Gonna go meet with an attorney about REITs next week.
And that was a surrender experiment, right? Like, so for a little while, I've been like, man, I can't handle 10,000 units. Right? I've got to find the right managers. I got to find the right people in place before I go and set up a financial structure. Because once I set it up, I can't help but sell it. Right? Once I've created something, like I got to sell. Like I need to see a good product. I got to sell it.
Have you gotten to the point where where he bought the computer at Radio Shack?
Yes. He starts programming.
Oh my God! And it's just so effortless.
Yeah.
It's like, this is fun and neat.
It reminds me of Zoom, right? Like Ron and I have been talking about this for so long. COVID comes, and now we're all forced into Zoom. And Ron and I are like, this is amazing. Like, we get to be tech nerds now.
It reminds me of. That's cool.
See if I can get it off here. Well, all right. So anyway.
It also reminds me of Tesla with the.
You see this little device here?
Yep.
So it switches between the 4 computers.
Oh, you have 4 computers?
Yep, there's one sitting back there.
What's your Napoleon Hill quote over there on your laptop?
So that is.
I saw it.
Oh yeah. O divine providence, I ask not for more riches, but more wisdom with which to make wise use of the riches of which the riches you gave me at birth, consisting in the power to control my mind and direct my own thoughts to whatever ends I may desire. Which
that was tough to hear because the microphone was over here.
It's here. Yeah. Let me put it on this screen over here.
Awesome.
Which I gotta switch computers. O divine providence, I ask not for more riches, but for more wisdom with which to make wiser use of the riches you gave me at birth, consisting in the power to control my mind and direct my own thoughts to whatever ends I might desire.
Nice
And
job.
so it works. It's on all my computers when I log in, and like,
That's
it's all
awesome.
about mindset, man.
We, I've met a lot of people who didn't grow up with money, and I watched their focus of they got to get the money, and um, I try to say it's not about the money. Make sure that you've got something at the end of it that's not the money, because that's hollow. Yeah.
Something worth having.
Right.
Uh, you know, I was talking to Dorina last night about video games, and you learn a lot about yourself by the games you like to play. And I was playing this game, Skyrim, and I would play to just stack up coins in the account, right? I could do anything. I could go and slay dragons. Literally there were dragons in the game. You could actually follow the levels. After a certain point where the game kind of let you free, I stopped following the game's rules. And I just went off and I started, collecting items and selling them. Natural merchant. I couldn't help myself. And like this was years. I'd play a game. If the game allowed you to be free open world, I would like go off course from the game and just go and build some sort of business. I couldn't help myself.
That's, at least you know what you're made for. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, that's what the revelation came to me back in 2012 when I was playing video games still. And I was sitting there saying, like, why am I working so hard in these video games? Like, what if I could actually do this in real life?
Right?
Like, what if I could actually start a business and actually, build these assets and meet these people? And yeah, Ty's looking good. Is that a double Windsor? What double Windsor?
Single, but it's all messed up. So
Single Windsor.
it's hard to look into the camera and figure it out.
No, it's all everything's reversed. You're in mirror mode.
So you moved from the video games to the real world.
And that was the change.
I had something similar. As you know, I do closings in Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and Connecticut. So I was doing a lot of driving, and I would spend all my time listening to sports radio. There were two stations out of Boston, and they talked about the same things, but Patriots, Red Sox, and I could tell you, anything about the Patriots. And one day it dawned on me, I was like, what a complete waste of time. Because last time I checked, I'm not coaching the Patriots. So
don't even own Patriots stock, right?
Yeah. So I started listening to Audible and podcasts, and that made all the difference because, and actually my car, I had a Honda Accord, and then the car I have now has had the Bluetooth. Like all the other features were great, but that was my favorite thing, was that as soon as my phone, I sit in my car, it immediately Bluetooth picks it up. Like right now I'm listening to the Surrender Experiment. Untethered Souls. So as soon as I get in the car, it'll start up. It's so awesome. And
that was an investment worth making when I had my truck. I actually took out the old radio. So this truck I had, I bought it, I think in 2006 or 2005. And I had this up until like 2 or 3 years ago. That was my vehicle, right?
Yeah.
And
nice job.
But my
10 years.
Right. But my girlfriend's cars all had the Bluetooth, like they were all updating their cars, like whatever.
Yeah.
So I'd get in the car and the Bluetooth kicking on. I was like, dude, like this is nice.
Yeah.
So I spent like $800 to put a radio in my car,
nice.
Bluetooth, and a digital screen.
Yeah, that's awesome. I had like one of those auxiliary cords that was in there and plug it in, but you'd have to, I don't know, it was a pain in the neck. So.
Well, that's what I had too for the longest time until I was like introduced to Bluetooth. And then once it was there, it was just like, my God.
And, but yeah, that makes a big difference, because if you're driving around and you crush a whole book. I remember I did a favor for a loan officer. I drove down to 2 hours and 35 minutes to get to a simple refi. I mean, the refi itself took 15 minutes for them to sign. Guy's like a New Yorker. He didn't want to read anything, just wants to sign. I'm in,
Nope.
I'm out. But everybody's like, man, you're driving 2 hours and 35 minutes to do a 15-minute closing. I said, well, it was a favor for a mortgage advisor, but for me, I got to hear, like 5 hours of I think that was actually the surrender experiment.
Yeah.
So awesome. I love it.
It's one of those things that I think there's so many people doing a commute right now. So many people out there driving all the time, every day. I was one of them. I drove to Boston every day for 4 years. Wow. And I did not know.
From Fall River?
From Fall River. And then when I bought my house in Taunton, from Taunton, so it was still an hour. Fall River was an hour and a half. So it was.
That's where my family comes from. That's why whenever you say Taunton, I get excited.
Oh, no way.
That's my dad's family. Yeah.
I lived in Taunton for 4 years. That was a 4-year experiment.
Did you like it or not really?
It honestly, so I think it was different for Carla, but for me, I was just home. I go to work, I go home. That's, I don't go out to places. So it didn't affect me whatsoever, other than it wasn't convenient to go see my grandparents, right? That was now a 30-minute drive to Fall River.
Gotcha.
And I didn't know the city. So investing in Taunton to me was a little bit weird. I didn't really know the neighborhoods or the city. And to be honest, I didn't know Fall River either. To be perfectly honest, I was homeschooled, right? So I'd always gone from home to work to home. And
that was it.
So when I started investing in Fall River too, I didn't know anything. So
nice. Now you're a master.
Well, now I know the streets inside and out. I know the house. I can go down the street. I've been in all the houses.
It's just this moment to take a book. If you're listening to this, The ABCs of Real Estate.
Yeah, good choice.
Ken McElroy, all about learning where you're investing. Even if you're investing out of state, learn your market. And he gives you tons of tips on how to do that. But yeah. And I know my area too. I worked in Newport. I lived in Newport. It's 10 minutes from my house. I love it. So, yeah.
Easy to invest. Places I mean, Mike, when we were going through Newport the other night, you knew everything. You knew all the stories. You knew who owned this, who did that. So, to me, if I were investing in Newport, I'd be investing with you.
We'll get that big ass boat.
I like it. Hey, the only way to get a big boat is to invest in Newport.
Yeah. Well, we took that picture that you took of us, of Brenda and I. Yep. And with the color printer that I bought, it came with 4x6 pieces of photo paper.
Nice.
Put that right in there. It came with a stack of 100 to get you started. And so we printed it out last night. It's on our fridge now. So there's a picture of Brenda and I, taken by the artist Walter Amarello.
Handled.
I said to Brenda, Brenda, Walter always has to get in the middle of everything. We put the picture up in the Zoom call, and you're like, I took that picture. And she's like, oh my God, you're the same way. Don't sit there and rag on Walter.
Nope, couldn't help it. That, Mike, is the high eye.
That's the high eye, absolutely. I still can't get over when you said that when I went to the Paul Fink thing and somebody mentioned the cocktail party and just leaned over and said, that's for the eyes.
That's for the eyes. Hey, tell me you didn't love the cocktail. After the cocktail party, you're like, yeah, I'm good. I can leave now.
Yeah.
I've had my party.
That was a good time.
Man, I miss live events. Those are so much fun.
Yeah.
But we've got a lot going on in this digital world now. There's so much more exposure, and I think that we're helping more people now. It helps to, hang out with two millionaires and see that we're totally down to earth. We're not all about money. 100%. I have fun with what we do. I love making money. I love the stock picks. But look, my buddies in fantasy football are putting in the same amount of effort and getting no return on investment.
Yeah.
But instead of knowing what this football player's stats are, I know what this company's stats are. And when I bet on it, after that bet, my money's still in there.
Right.
It could go up and I could still get a dividend.
I totally get that. My best friend, he before he moved down to Florida, he would do every fall, he'd go to New York and he and a bunch of people would do the whole draft And I never got it, you know. I never
Nope.
understood it. They'd have stats on all the people. It's like you said, you could spend time like figuring out like businesses or yeah, anything.
And the time's gonna pass either way.
Yeah,
It's just that I think that this is more fun. This is more fun, and it's for
exactly.
sure it's more rewarding.
Well, I find we always go back to my dad at least once during these things, but that's what he's always done. He spends his time. Well, he loves music, so he plays the baritone horn. He played, but anyways, but besides that, he's always on business and talking about business. And it's like you said, okay, you have fun with it, but you also make money with it. Like it's crazy.
Right.
Like, when he goes away to Florida, he has a contractor usually every year do something in the house in Narragansett.
Yep.
So it's like neat because you bought something, maybe a new kitchen or a new master bedroom, or you expanded it, but you actually are making money while you're having fun. That's such a great mindset.
That's what it's all about. It's mindset,
Yeah.
right? It's a reinvestment. It's just a little bit of knowledge. And now
Yeah.
you're talking with your buddies about how you installed this pool or how you installed this addition or, the new kitchen. And it's a good conversation. Everybody's interested.
Well, one thing my dad says every year, which is again fun, you could study fantasy football, who's the best wide receiver, blah, blah, blah. But my dad every year loves when Warren Buffett's annual letter to his shareholders comes out.
Yep.
And he's always telling us to read it. And he's just like, oh, he points out things from page 3. They said this, that, and the other. So it's it's just fun. Yeah.
Yeah. I love it, Mike. And honestly, I'm
Fun,
okay
and you
with
make
it.
crazy money.
Yeah, I'm 100% okay with it. Like I told Doreen, I was like, yeah, Mike's literally one of my best friends. Like we'll be texting at 10 o'clock in the afternoon, like or at night, saying, hey, did you check this stock out? Right? Like
Yeah.
your tip on plug has made me $1,000 today. So
Oh, nice job. Is it
plug's
up?
back up, by the way.
Yeah. That came from a mortgage guy. I think I mentioned this. I had it at 5.
Yeah.
And he said, oh, but he's a day trader. Listen to this. This was like an offhand comment from my friend. And he goes, yeah, that 3,000 extra bucks a month that I do in the trading, it really helps with the mortgage. And I'm like, what? So basically he gets up at 6 o'clock in the morning. He looks at the news, and I'm not suggesting anybody do this. I'm telling a story, please. This is not financial advice again. But This is what he does. He sees what's in the news, and based on what's in the news, he buys the stock at 6, and he's out by 8:30. And he says he makes an extra $3,000-4,000 a month doing that. Well, that just reminds me, we got to get Carlos on the podcast.
Yep. Absolutely.
I haven't seen those guys in forever. They were part of the mastermind before COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got to get the mastermind back together.
We got to get the band back together.
We've got to. What this mastermind was all millionaires. It was people who, not from our coaching program, but people who were millionaires already. And although technically I was a part of building Carlos and Carlos's empire.
Must make you feel really good. You've got a whole list of people that you've helped. I mean, I guess that's why I like the whole 100 millionaires thing. I haven't really given credit. Nice job. I haven't really given credit for Ryan McDermott because he was so close. So I'm not gonna.
Counts. Technically, it counts.
It counts.
The way I see it is his millionaire status was birthed while he was in the program.
Yeah.
Okay, fine, Mike. Fine.
I wanted to take a little right turn. I was just thinking about something though. Another way that you and I are both very blessed is that we have partners who like Dorina and Brenda, who are on the same page with us, and that is something I'm extremely grateful for, because like when the 4 of us went out the other night, that was really fun because everybody's on the same page and we all get it, and there's no I don't know, it's just there's no friction there on that kind of stuff. With you and Dorina, you're on the same page, I'm assuming.
it was great because you and I'd be walking together, then it'd be me and Dorina, and then I'd be walking with Brenda, and
Yeah,
the conversation from every person like they were slightly different
yeah,
conversations, but
yeah,
we'd be jumping in, and we could have the conversation continuously, right? Your wife is on money, she's on mindset,
yeah.
you're on money, mindset, Dorina's on it, and like we're walking, we're just embracing how nice
Yeah.
the weather is, how great this conversation is, and
How
uh,
amazing Brandon Kane's hotel is.
yeah, we're at the Hammock Wharf, right? Like that
That's
was
beautiful. Yeah,
what a beautiful hotel, and in the
yeah,
location, perfect. Like right where they put that, it was exactly what Newport needed. Uh,
yeah.
totally like revitalized the section that was just kind of like
Yes. That,
nice section, this kind of weird spot in between,
and I love the way they hit the view in between, so you can still see the water. It's
and
pretty
it's open, right? It's that section is open to the public. They didn't block the view. They
Right.
left it
There's
open.
a hotel in Boston right near the aquarium that has the same thing. It has like a
Yes.
big arch, down by the seaport,
Yep.
and you look out in the harbor. I think it might be like the Harbor Hotel or whatever. I don't know, but yeah, same idea. You're gonna put a building up, at least keep the view. It's very pretty. Yeah,
Yeah, I wish more architects did that.
yeah,
They did a great job, and that building in Boston, I don't know the name of it, but I know the one you're talking about.
yeah.
So Dorina was telling me they actually set up a big video camera, a big uh, projector,
Yeah,
and then they'll watch movies there in the summer.
that's awesome.
Families will come out and they'll
Yeah,
have big outdoor movies,
nice.
with the water right there, and the videos. It's a really cool set that company's built. That real estate investor.
But I would just say that people don't. What I was saying about, if you have a partner who's on the same page with you, that's huge because, even the other day, Brenda was talking to someone whose husband would not get on the same page with her, and she ended up having to leave him. And it's like, if you have that, I've heard it from a couple of guys on Bigger Pockets,
Yeah.
where they talk about their wives, that they had to get them on the page and what a difference it made once they did. And we just, it was just natural. I mean, the only thing Brenda gives me crap is I'm like, oh my God, Rich Dad, Poor Dad is groundbreaking. She's like, yeah, not really. It's easy. I get it.
Basically, yeah. Like I can't tell you how many times I've heard that from people. It's like yeah,
Right?
but it's
Yeah.
really good though.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, my mindset, I didn't see it. I see it now. It's so awesome.
Like you share something with somebody and they're like, it was super basic. It's like, oh yeah, but okay, you're right. I guess
Yeah.
basically saying what all the other ones say. Okay, yeah, well, yes, but
I told you when we became vegan 3 years ago, like the first 2 weeks, I was like obsessed, and I was sending How Not to Die, the book by Dr. Michael Greger, to everybody I
own a
knew.
copy. Thanks,
Yeah, nice.
Mike.
And I thought that everybody would suddenly convert and be vegan because don't you get it? And then suddenly after 2 weeks, you're like, you know what? If I can get, like my friend Tom down in Florida, he and his, I remember I went to Boston. We went out for lunch on Newbury Street, and it was at a bookstore, and I was talking about Brenda and I being vegan. And I swear to you, 3 days later, he and his girlfriend, who's now his wife, Trina, became vegan, and they're vegan ever since. Yeah.
So you have had this effect on people. So
Yeah. So it's nice to just know that some people have gotten the message and they're on the same page. Everybody's got to be where they are. It's not. It's not up to me
concerned. Yeah,
force people.
You've convinced people before. You've brought them over. So
Tom, it was effortless. It was effortless. I just said it. He said, I got it. We were at a vegan restaurant on Newbury Street. And such a cool restaurant. It's a bookstore. It's called, it's a bookstore, but it has a restaurant in it at the same time. It has all these like self-help books and like yoga books and all that kind of stuff. And I can't, I think it's called like Trident Books.
Yep.
On Newbury Street. So if you ever get a chance, it's awesome and the food's awesome. And now they live down in Florida, but they're vegan. So we went to visit them before COVID. Everything we did was vegan, and it was cool. cool couple. So.
I find myself slipping more towards the vegan lifestyle, and it's one of those things I really don't have much control over it. It's just sort of happening. More and more meals have been vegan recently.
Well, you're hanging out with me.
I'm hanging out with you, and then even Dorina,
right?
Like now makes a salad every day, and
nice.
This salad is delicious. It's not like a basic salad, and
I think that's the big thing that people don't get. Again, I'm not trying to convince anybody to do it. Everybody's in their own place, and I get it. But people think that my diet became boring. Like I'm eating like cabbage and like old carrots. It's not true at all. I mean, the food that we get either at the restaurants like Root in Newport, shout out Root. Newport.
Shout out Root. And
it's delicious and amazing. And my food has become much more of a variety now. So yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, like you're having a positive effect, and I appreciate you, brother.
Yeah. So we save. It's good for your health. Watch the movie Game Changers with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and then it's good for the animals, obviously, because they're not being
right.
killed. I think last year, 89 billion animals were killed worldwide. That's a big effing number.
Kind of a lot of people. Yeah.
And then for the planet, it's stopping all the clearing of rainforests and the climate change and all that stuff. So how could you go wrong with that, right?
The only problem we're gonna have is the billions of cows and
I love cows.
that we have like right now in dairy farms.
Yeah.
One day they're just gonna be like, well, we don't need them anymore. Open the gate.
They're gonna come to Mike Schein and Brenda Schein's animal sanctuary. We're just gonna have lots of cows wandering. Yeah.
So that's what's gonna have to happen. Definitely. So, Mike, you're going to be moving to the Central Valley of California.
Right.
Taking over dairy farms. That may be a case.
Yeah, well, I was out in South Dakota before, and you don't realize if you live in like Fall River or Rhode Island how big this country is. Like some of these people, like this guy that I visited, I think I told you, had 12 square mile ranch. 12 square miles. I remember we were looking for the horses because they had like wild horses that just kind of run around, and we didn't see them for like 2 hours because you couldn't find them. It's just so hopefully you get someplace warm where the cows can just.
Yeah, Mike, you were talking about your ranching days. So what was the name of your horse, Mike?
Daisy. I was the cowboys out there call me City Slickers, just like Billy Crystal. I'm just sitting there in my sneakers and my jeans, and Daisy, all she wanted to do was eat food. You're like pulling on her to get her to go somewhere. And then you're like, man, this horse doesn't know how to run very fast. And then as soon as we turned around towards the barn, it was like, scared the shit out of me. The horse is running like breakneck speed to just go back to our barn.
So it's funny, like that story you told me the other day was exactly like City Slickers.
Yeah.
They're like, Mike, we need you to help us find our horse. Come on, let's go. Yeah, it's crazy.
Don't forget the theme of that movie is the one thing. So
yeah,
find your one thing. So yeah,
that conversation in there a couple of times, and the one thing really it moves you and motivates you. Dorina asked me 2 days ago. We were talking about purpose, mission, and what was the other one? It was purpose.
Like, how amazing that conversation! This is what you're having with your girlfriend.
Right.
That's an amazing conversation versus what's on TV tonight.
Yeah, she pulled me out of the living room at 11 o'clock. I was watching TV. I was about to dive into some
I didn't know you have a TV. I didn't know you have a TV.
It's reserved for YouTube, and occasionally we will Netflix or Amazon Prime something.
Gotcha.
But it would be something like City Slickers, which has a good message behind it.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
So anyway, she pulls me out of the living room, and she says, babe, like, I want to know, like, I think I got two purposes. I'm looking at two purposes, and I'm not sure which one. And this is a major concern for her. Right?
Yeah.
So we go into the office.
It's awesome that she has Walter Everello life coach sitting right next to her. She could ask that question.
I tell her all the time. She's got it made, you know?
Yeah, well, I have that with Brenda. I mean, I can't tell you how many books Brenda reads on your inner being and finding yourself
Mindset,
and all that
spirituality.
stuff. So like any concern you have is answered like in a second. Yeah. You know?
So we go in and she's looking at purpose, right? Like, what is it? And she's reading these two sentences. And I told her, I was like, well, that's the problem you got right there is you've labeled your mission as your purpose. So you have your purpose, then you have your mission, which is your vehicle. It's how, and then underneath your mission is what you actually do. And that's your vehicle, right? So your purpose is like innately, it's just who you are. You can never get rid of it.
Right.
And then your mission, your vision is like how you see accomplishing that. But then your mission is your vehicle that you actually drive to accomplish to get to your destination.
Nice.
And so, you know, there's 3 steps. And I learned that at a course that T.R. Vecker created called Mission to Millions. And I'm
writing it
she
down.
saw it, like she already had a lot of these written down. She had it all written down in different places, but now to organize it was more clear. You know, knowing that your mission does lead to your vision and your purpose.
Nice. I'm writing it down. So.
Yeah. And here's the thing, everybody's purpose is to help people. Like, yes, on some level, your purpose helps other people, right? So when everybody's like, oh, my purpose is to help people, no shit. Like, you get that. Like, that's the easy one. What is your vision, right? How are you going to help these people? What is it you want to create in your life that's going to help people?
But, so you don't stress people out. You know, I was reading in Jen Sincero's You Are Badass.
Yeah.
That there are some people who are born and they know exactly what they're gonna do. You know, maybe they're playing video games and they want to start a business. Okay. Just as a theoretical example, I don't know where I got that from, but at the same time, there's the other people who don't know, and she says, don't panic if you don't know.
Yeah.
You know, don't feel like you have to know exactly what you're going to do.
Yeah, I was stressed out, man. I moved to Vegas. I went to LA. Like, I did all these different trips, courses to figure it out. You know, how embarrassing.
Went to the desert and you smoked peyote. And
you know? Like, I did yoga in Vegas, Mike.
That's cool.
I went to.
Were you on top of a building? Were you up on?
You know, I wish I was that like spiritual. Yeah. I was super conventional when I lived in Vegas. It was. Yeah. I got the gym membership. I was doing actual yoga in actual gyms.
Oh wow! And what was your like? Did you have a time limit, or did you just go for like 3 months, or was it unlimited?
My intention was to be there until the end of March. The goal was I was going to be there to the end of March.
When did you get there?
I got there in December. So I went December 22nd. I was there before Thanksgiving. It was I was there before Christmas. And because that was another one of those things I wanted to just get past, you know, this need to be around my family. I went and couldn't be with them. So it was just one more block, right? So
why didn't you want to be with your family? Like,
no, I did. That was the point. I did so bad that I had to not, right? I had to get around this obsession with my family, this connection.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
You know, I was so tied to them and their wants and their desires that like I had to do a little separation.
Right. I'm renaming myself. I didn't realize it said
Mike Schein, real estate holistic attorney. It should be
holistic attorney instead. Which when I'm a big famous star, I'll thank Walter because you were the one who said that.
That's right. So it was this whole, you know, move to Vegas, get out of that mindset, get my whole spiritual connection. And I'm thinking about it a lot now because of the surrender experiment. And it was done in a manner that I could come back, right? I could, like, the whole point was I'm going out there to solve myself, figure me out. And, you know,
did you have any friends out there?
I did, but didn't see them. So
wow.
I saw them like once or twice while I was out there.
Huh. So you're just hanging out with yourself.
I was hanging out with myself. I even had a social media campaign set up so nobody would know I was in Vegas.
That's
And
cool.
the
What was
campaign was
so? What was the
automated.
purpose? Wait. So what was the purpose of this?
So the whole point was just to get to know myself, just to figure out
Nice.
like who I was, what I wanted.
Nice.
And I went to that course, Mission to Millions, while I was out there,
Okay.
and like it was just really diving deep. I did all the NLP, I did the hypnosis, I was getting hypnotized left and right, I was reprogramming my mind, like
Yeah, that's awesome.
hanging with all the gurus, and
Awesome.
it really did help though. Like it was what I wanted to do. I wanted to be out there. I wanted to learn from them
Yeah.
and not be around anybody I knew. Like I separated 100% from everybody I knew, even though like I didn't go out and get a van and go to the woods. Like I literally got
Yeah.
I was living in a month-to-month rental in the middle of Las Vegas. But
Nice.
like a
Yeah.
month,
Same idea. I get it.
I was living on
If
El
you have
Taco.
if you haven't read the Surrender Experiment, you won't get the reference to being in a van out in the woods. But what Michael Singer was doing, and yeah, I see it. Yeah, that's
But
awesome.
it was the same thing. I was a monk in my own way. Like I
Yeah.
was a monk in my style, right? I was in the city of strippers and gambling. I wasn't gambling. I wasn't going to the strip clubs. Like I was just there, doing yoga and going to seminars and reading books.
That's fun. That's awesome.
But it works. Whatever you want to do to find yourself, do it.
Yeah.
Do whatever you got to do.
I had a whole year when I was single where I did that. Everybody was telling me, oh, go find another girl or go do this. And all I did was I did yoga, I did acupuncture, all sorts of stuff like that. And ended up, same idea.
Powerful, isn't it?
To find yourself, you're not, yeah.
Yeah. Mike, that's why I like you. It's the real you. I don't have like with other people.
I still think it's hysterical that we probably wouldn't have liked each other in the past, because in the past who we were is not who we are now.
Oh man, I my ego is so strong. Like all I cared about is, am I winning? Right? That was so important to me, is am I winning? Right?
Yeah.
Like now I know I'm winning.
I'm like, what a jerk. That's what I would have been like.
Yeah. Like I couldn't even if I met me 4 years, I couldn't even hang out with my old me. I couldn't. Like I would feel bad for my old me. Like I had this sympathy and this like I see people who are like me now and I'm like, oh, okay, like I see it. Like okay.
Yeah.
I feel bad for them. I sympathize. I want to give the little nuggets, but I know that they're not gonna eat any of it.
That's good. I had a whole I think I said this before, but I had like a whole phony, thought I was Joe Cool and all that kind of stuff. And then, so now when you see other people behave that way, same thing, you can see it. You see it right away. And you're kind of like, oh, okay, I know where you are.
Man, I was wearing the hats and I was wearing the zoot suits, like I was wearing the suits and I had the hat. And,
That's
like,
awesome.
I literally was just like trying so hard to be this flashy thing.
Yeah.
And now, like, I love wearing vests. I'll put like I'll never wear a tie, but I'll put a button up on with a vest and go out there and kill it. But that's my style. Like that's literally just who I am, and that's self-expression. Cool. Whereas the other stuff it was like if I make it flashy enough, like nobody will notice that I have no idea what I'm doing here right now.
Anybody call you on your shit? Did you ever have anybody who would be like, you're full of shit?
So my coach, which is Paul Fink, when we were out on that in the Dominican, he definitely like not just him, like the whole group, the whole community. They tear you apart to rebuild you. Because
that was like that forum thing I did. So you did like 2 weekends, I think it was the first, and then if you get really into it, they had like what was called like a 6-day program.
Yep.
We went off into New York and they had like cabins and you do all this stuff, and that was they kind of break you down and figure out where you're. Yeah.
It was helpful. Yeah. I shaved my head after that too.
Nice. All right, I've seen all the pictures from before. Yeah.
Yeah, you see right back there. There's the old guy.
That's right.
That was still a nicer version of me. That was a very recent picture. But the older version of that guy, man, whew, scary. Just scary. Yeah.
Oh, you're pretty young, so at least you found out early.
Thank God. I say it all the time. Thank God. Mike, imagine if you didn't know what you know now, if you weren't reading the books, a year or two ago,
Oh my
and you're
God.
still running through life like,
Total transformation. It's so awesome. And it's, yeah, it's so much more fun.
yeah, life is fun. We're making money. We're
Yeah.
helping people, and
We
we're having
say,
fun doing it.
yeah. And we say, why not a lot? Why
Why
not?
not? Why not?
It's just, why not?
So, I guess what you started this conversation with is we're going to go and meet up with your friend, your dad's friend, who
Yep.
is into real estate investment trusts or works for the IRS. And I've been holding off on that for so long internally, just the fear of having to manage all of those units. And I had lunch with my property manager yesterday, and I told her, well, she told me, she's like, look, I'm looking to expand. I want 1,000 units. And I told her, I was like, well, what if I could get you 10,000 units, but they weren't going to all be here in Massachusetts? She's like, no, I'm willing to expand. I'll go anywhere.
Wow, that's awesome.
And her systems are phenomenal. So,
Yeah. She should come to visit the 52 uh, wealth principles.
So
There's a lot of people in there. Because I mean, you already have people who are using her for.
A lot of our students use her already.
Yeah.
A lot of our investors are using her.
Right.
And people are thanking me for switching them over. I used to run a management company. So, they come to me and ask who you're using because I know what I want done in a management company, and she does it. She does honestly better than I did. Like I'll be honest, she manages way better than I did.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
She charges better than I did too. So she's worth her time.
Hashtag worth it.
Yep. Right. I'm telling you, like I pay for it. I pay for it. But I'd rather pay her.
Your plate. It's so much better. Yeah.
Yep. I pay her, and the properties do a great job. So my tenants are happy. My tenants are paying. It's worth the money we pay. And she told me, she's like, I've talked to every one of your tenants multiple times over these past couple of months, like physically talked to, just to make sure that they know, how to pay and how to, get through this. So.
Yeah, because I remember there was a guy on, I think I mentioned this last time, there was a guy on Bigger Pockets who wasn't happy with his management, so he was managing his own stuff, and then other people came to him and said, hey, who do you use or can you manage my properties? And now the guy was on Bigger Pockets with 13,000 properties in 5 states. I mean, that's kind of like the surrender experiment. It was effortless for him. It wasn't even his intention to do that. Now he has this huge multi-state management company. So Becky could be like that too.
Yeah. And that's what 100 Millionaires is all about. How do we build wealth for more than 100 people, but how do we do it consistently, starting with this first 100? This is the experiment.
Right.
Right.
And also instill in those
experiment. Go ahead.
There's 2 parts too, because you want them to become millionaires, but you also want them to have the goal to get 100 more millionaires.
Pay it forward.
Yeah, pay it forward. So awesome. Yep. So awesome.
That's it, man.
I'm glad you guys thought of this goal because I love it. I love it.
It's the 100 Millionaires experiment. It's a big beta test. We'll see how it goes.
It's funny. It's just what we were talking about was that, not everybody has their mission. We were talking about with the purpose, vision, mission. And I was one of those people, I want to help people. Just like you said, I want to help people. Why do people need so much help?
My purpose to help people.
I'm a people person.
I just want to help people, yeah. But it goes beyond that, Mike. It goes beyond that.
But this is the universe, because as soon as you said it, I latched onto it. And it's so, and I take, when I'm talking to the people, either on the calls when they call me or just in the Zoom, I take it, not seriously, I don't want to say it like that because it's not, we're having fun, but I love that we're actually moving the needle and we're making people, and that's awesome.
We're moving the needle, and I'm telling you, and like I goof around all day. I love my life. I love the people I hang around with. Those one-on-one sessions, I take them so seriously. When I'm one-on-one with a student, there's nothing more like
rewarding,
it's like
right?
I will do whatever I have to do. I will find a solution for you, and
that's so
you
good.
do.
That is so good.
Right. It's one of the most rewarding parts of the week. You know, when right before they happen, I'm like, oh fuck, I got a scheduled thing. Damn it, I hate scheduled things. But as soon as I'm in it,
yeah.
I'm in it.
I sat with, on the Zoom call with Howie yesterday, you know?
Nice, he's
And
good.
he's such a nice guy. And he was saying he knows a ton of people. And he was like, you know, but some of them don't want to spend the $1,000 for the coaching. And I said, well, just tell them to show up at the Saturday morning and maybe go to the wholesale on Monday and Friday. Because, I mean, I found that that's what happened with me. I would drive to Fall River because it was fun. And at a certain point, you get that this is not a sales. You know what I'm saying? That's not like that. I mean, I get $1,000 is a lot for some people, but that's not really what we're doing. It's not what
Yeah. The $1,000 is like a barrier to entry, you know, and you got to have those in a coaching program because then you'll get a whole bunch of people and you'll get negative Nellies, right? You'll get the people who are questioning the program all the time. By charging, you eliminate those people because the doubters never would pay.
Yeah, well,
so
it's funny you say that because that forum program that I did, it was $495, and
that's enough.
I was in college, so I didn't have any money, but it was. They would say that too. They would say, well, the reason that we charge is because if we don't charge, people aren't going to take this seriously. You know, just people show up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've done it. But yeah. Ron and I started with free mentorship. We've started with teaching for free.
Yeah.
And we just got tired of people dropping off. Like, it was just like, look, I put all this effort into you. Like, can you at least stay and do the things?
Yeah.
And when we started charging, we literally, like, yes, less people are being like mentored, but well, not now. Like, now that we've just opened up our marketing, we have plenty of people in the program.
Right.
But before it was less people, but it was like everyone's a winner. Every person in this program is doing the things they're told to do.
Yeah, and I love it. They take it seriously, you know.
Yeah.
Like we would sit in that cold, dark office in Fall River and talk about books, but it was just kind of like sort of willy-nilly. Some people came in, some didn't, some showed up late, some whatever. But now you've got people, and when you say, what book did you read? And Foundational 5. I mean, it's just amazing to watch everybody read them, and see what they get out of it too.
You look at that old office in Fall River, like our first office in Fall River, second office, the first for this group, it was a maximum capacity of 30 people. Max capacity. Like, Ron and I were looking at tearing down 2 more walls so we could get an extra 10 people into the space.
That's awesome.
And max capacity.
You're afraid you'd find a snake.
Right. Who knows what's in those walls? So we look at the Zoom now. Last week we had 75 people on the Saturday call. 75, awesome. Which is more than double our capacity at that office.
Fist bump.
Yeah, fist bump. And this is just us. We just turned up the marketing dial just a little bit. You know, we spent $1,700 this month, and we've only been through 1 week of that $1,700. It'll take 3 months before that marketing actually has an effect.
Wow.
But we've already seen just you know, in 1 week, just a little moving of the dial, right?
No, it's crazy. I was like, where the heck are these people coming from? Because you had a guy from Oregon and you had California. Yeah, it's awesome.
You're going to see a lot of California coming in. One of the problems with Cali is their cost of living is getting higher, but their education is high as well. And so they're aware that education helps you, you know, get out of things. They're aware there's something wrong. Same with New York. You're going to see a lot of people from New York coming in. Same with Miami. These more expensive places to live. That's where we're marketing. I mean, we're marketing blanket across the country, but it seems to be that California and the West Coast really, and then New York, this seem to be where our groups are growing fastest.
Awesome. Yeah, that's awesome.
So we're here to help. You know, we want to help them find their financial freedom, and becoming a millionaire is a good way to do it. So Mike Schein, why don't you sign us out? We've run this a little longer than we planned on.
I just want to say personally, when I go on like YouTube, I I don't go more than like 15 minutes. So
Yeah, we're gonna have to chop this into like 7 episodes. It'll
yeah, just get a VA, right? Get a VA
yeah,
to do that. All right, so
give you the best of the best of the 100 millionaires.
ladies and gentlemen, massive income from passive income, effortless, surrender. Yeah.
When you have a choice, always work with the best. Cheers
Cheers.
to your success.
Peace. Don't forget, we're still on live on Facebook.